All right. How are you? So my name is Robert Saul. I just left our outstanding Amazon incentives episode where I learned a lot, and I get to do something I've never done before alongside Farrah Campbell here, who's done it a few times, I'm sure. We get to talk about AWS heroes. Farrah, why don't you tell us what they are?
Well, heroes are they're a global recognized group that are, I don't know, I would say they are people that understand AWS sometimes better than I think most anyone else. And I think we have somebody here like with us today that I think a lot of people knows, which is Ben Kehoe. He's one of the serverless heroes. I was lucky enough to be a serverless hero like next to him, and I don't know how that even happened, but super awesome to have him here on today. So Ben, maybe tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, I'm an AWS Serverless hero. For a long time, I was at iRobot making the cloud supporting connected Roombas, completely serverless, no containers or VMs in productions for that. Recently, I left iRobot, and I'm now taking some time off.
So can we talk just real quick about a little bit about your background? How did you get just connect the serverless to the iRobot? How did that work?
Well, so my background is in robotics. I got a PhD in robotics, in cloud robotics, how you can use the cloud to enable robots to do more and better things. And I joined iRobot in 2015, shortly before the launch of the first connected Roomba. And one of the things about launching a connected Roomba in 2015, more than 10 years after Roomba was launched, was that iRobot was already selling millions of robots a year. And so it wasn't a question of would this need to scale, but how quickly, because the volume was already there. It was just that, the products were starting to be connected. However, iRobot had not built scalable, elastic cloud infrastructure before that. It was a device company. And so when we were looking at it, it was, well, some people here, not me, I hadn't built anything at scale at that point. Some people had, but none of us really wanted to deal with that or try and make it work. And so we looked at the offerings that AWS had, and it was Lambda and API Gateway and DynamoDB and IoT Core, and said, we think we can build this without having to learn how to scale things. And that was extremely successful.
Wow.
That the operations load for running millions of robots in production was scaling only with the cloud footprint, with how many features were being supported and not the size of the fleet.
Wow.
So I can only imagine like how many things that you must have learned along the way. And I think today that we were going to talk about one specific thing that I know that you hold close to your heart.
I also think it's important to know all the things I haven't learned. I still can't build. I don't know how to make an EC2 based system or a Kubernetes based system that can scale to millions of robots. I never had to learn, which is really the whole value there. But yes, I have learned about a lot of other things along the way. And I think today we're going to talk about IAM Identity Center.
Yeah, so like maybe you could tell us why today? Why did we pick this topic, and why do we feel like it's important?
Well, I want everybody to stop using IAM users.
Can I just real quick just jump in? I'm sorry, Ben. You're the hero here. I'm not. I don't want to step on you. I am the threat detection incident response practice manager. So we support customer incidents on the customer side of the shared responsibility model. So I want that too. So that's absolutely one of our goals. Why do you want customers to stop using that?
Yeah, well, I think it was great, before in the prep for this, when, we had just sort of, I think, been placed together randomly. And it turned out to be that, this passion for...
It was magic.
This passion for only having short-lived access keys is the thing. And really that's, the problem with IAM users is that the access that they grant is via long-lived access keys, your access key and secret access key. When what you really want is short-lived access granted with access key, secret key, and session token that you see with IAM roles. However, when those credentials only last an hour or such, you have to have some way of getting those credentials. And so you need some trusted source of identity to say, yes, grant those credentials. And for IAM users, way back when, it was, well, there wasn't a source. The source is the humans. So when they, just give them the credentials, because there's nothing that could hand them out something short-lived.
Yeah.
We're now in a world with Okta and Ping and OneLogin and any number of different IDPs that can provide that trusted source of identity for workforce identity.
Yeah. And free MFAs. There's the free MFA program here at AWS that I share your passion, and I think it's awesome that you're pushing for it. You're a hero anyway, but you're even more of a hero because of that for me.
Yeah, that's great. And I think, this point that now, with IAM Identity Center, formerly called AWS SSO, and I'm really excited about the name change, because it's not really about single sign-on. It's not about replacing your single sign-on provider that you have, like Okta, Ping, et cetera. It's about managing access to AWS using those external IDPs or an internal IDP that AWS can provide if you don't already have one of those. And one of the nice things about it is, because that abstracts over the actual authentication process that happens when you go over to that IDP like Okta or Ping, is that there are AWS APIs that allow that sign-in. It uses the OAuth device authorization flow, which means that the AWS CLI can sign you in to your account and give you those short-lived credentials, even on a headless box, without ever having to understand all of those different login things. Every organization has built a screen scraping login that talked to, ADFS and, knew all of the fields, and so it could post in the response and get the SAML and take that to STS assume role with SAML. And all of that goes away. All of that custom work goes away. And it's all just AWS SSO login if you're using the AWS CLI. I have found that I think there are some efficiencies that can be got for CLI login. So I've developed a tool called AWS SSO util that helps with login, and some pieces like, now that it's all in AWS SSO, you can manage your permissions through infrastructure as code. That you can have CloudFormation controlling all of your permissions to AWS, and then set up CI/CD for that, so that your organization can have a pull request from a developer saying, I need this particular permission. And then security can just approve that pull request, kick off the pipeline, and all of a sudden they've got access. And the developer doesn't need to describe what they're trying to do if they actually know, here's exactly the change I need, which speeds up then security as a bottleneck, because they don't have to be the interpreters for that kind of thing, which is really powerful, I think.
So they get the capability in a secure manner.
Yes.
It's a win-win. Everyone does it.
It really is. And an under talked about thing about Identity Center, just one little bit, is that by separating out the permissions into AWS from the identity, those teams don't always get along. Like we always, every organization is dysfunctional in its own way, but a common one is that those two teams are, they don't talk to each other enough. And this allows the separation of responsibilities in a way that really aligns well with that and eliminates problems through, good technology for exactly this sort of thing.
So it enhances the user experience. It helps.
It's really win-win-win. Yeah.
Any downfalls?
I mean, as with anything, there are rough edges. And I think that's where, I've built some tooling for that AWS SSO util. I think it keeps getting better. There are now APIs around things that we didn't used to have APIs for. The experience keeps getting better. So it's even if you look at it and you're not ready for it now, identity and access migrations for workforce identity take a long time. And so you want to start planning it now. You want to say, I know it's getting better. I want to start working with it now so that I can start moving in that direction.
So this is why you're a hero. It's like you try to enhance the experience, even when like it's already been enhanced, but there's still a few like rough edges.
Yeah.
Robert, I'm assuming that you're going to start sharing this with some of your customers. I mean, it seems like you're a fan.
This afternoon, as soon as we're done, we're meeting with customers this afternoon. But yes, Ben, it is so good to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. And like find Ben on Twitter, and I will be sharing the GitHub link to the project.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.